Hello everybody and welcome back to CADS. It's much of the same. We're here sitting down talking about football after much of the same on the pitch. Somebody once said to me, or somebody recently sent to me, that Thomas Frank is a dead man still walking. There might have been someone who's on a call tonight. We will see.
I think I said that.
You did indeed, Ash. So yeah, I'm joined by three lovely fellas, all starting with the letter A, starting with Ash.
Hey guys, you'll have to pardon me. I'm actually on public transportation, just heading home from the pool. But anyway, glad to be here.
And we've got A with us as well. How you doing, A?
Hey guys, long-suffering A, we should add.
Long-suffering A.
not as much as me and Austin.
Definitely not as long-suffering as Austin. Austin has been long-suffering more than anybody, I think. How you doing, Austin?
I'm good, thank you.
Excellent.
I've got a sweet in my mouth, but I'm in a more positive humour than I was last week.
Oh, well, that's good. Maybe you can transmit a bit of that to me. So, I was on Blue Sky earlier today, and somebody said they were looking to put together a list of positive people to talk about Spurs. And I say, I'd like to be on that list. I'd really love to be on that list, but I think right now I don't fit the actual brief. I hope to be positive about Tottenham again at some point. And I think that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to leave it at that. Everything is at some point, things will turn somehow. And maybe the board will screw it up again and go for somebody completely unrealistic and a poor fit. But hey, let's talk about the football. We got two games to talk about. Oh, yeah. So how's everyone feeling about the football? Let's start with A.
Really bleak to start with. And then, I guess there were some green shoots in the first half of the last one.
Yeah.
So, you kind of try and hold on to the positives. So that's where I'm at.
So the games we need to talk about tonight are Brentford and Sunderland, I believe. Is that right? Those are the ones we haven't talked about yet. Oh, dearie me. What on earth was going on? Certainly in the Brentford game. Austin, your thoughts?
I was completely off my face when I watched the Brentford game and fell asleep. I think I'd have fallen asleep.
Best way to be, I'd say.
Off my face because it was an awful game. But the Sunderland game,
okay,
I watched and I wasn't off my face. And I thought in the first half we played really quite well. When I say we played really quite well, you've got to believe that that team hadn't played together because we had players that just aren't used to playing with each other. Because we're so injury hit at the moment, it's difficult.
We also had three players that are used to playing with each other. We got Kolo Muani, Tel Odobert, and Tel, all of whom have played together in French youth sides. Kolo Muani I'm less sure about, but certainly Tel and Tel Odobert join up together in the French under 21s a lot.
That is true, but you're including Richarlison in that forward group of players, and he had a bloody awful game, in my opinion. Yeah. His worst game for a while, because in a couple of games ago, I thought he had an absolutely superb game where he knitted everything together, held on to things, and brought people into play. But he did absolutely opposite against Sunderland. He lost the ball every blooming time. We had breakaways where I was thinking, we're going to score here. But I knew I was 2 minutes behind with the stream I was watching. And I hadn't had a notification from the BBC to say we'd scored. So I was looking at it thinking, how have we not scored from this? And there must have been 3 or 4 occasions that I thought we were absolutely guaranteed to score. And we didn't because of a bad final pass or someone miscontrolling or not controlling. But I thought the attacking intent in the first half against Sunderland was very good. The second half, I thought they got hold of the game more, probably because they thought they're only one behind and they should try and achieve something. And yes, they scored near the end. But near the end, we could have scored a winner with Paulinho.
Yeah.
Disagreed with Archie Gray being taken off because he's been one of our most consistent players whenever he's played. Thought Bergvall played too far up the pitch when he was brought on. But all in all, a draw against Sunderland at home when we've been losing a lot of games at home. And yes, we conceded a goal, which was a good goal from them. But I wasn't disappointed in the performance. I thought we showed effort and application.
This is a Sunderland side that's got 7 players away on Africa Cup of Nations duty. So, I mean, they are weakened through that entirely. Their home form is great, their away form not so great. Ash, what were your thoughts?
Okay, I'm going to be like super positive because it's all pretty negative. We actually are unbeaten in 3 games. Wow, that's one. And the real positive, you guys are all going to have a laugh, is that I thought Ben Davies in the game against Sunderland was just superb. Showed what a professional he is. Got a goal. Just solid. Not as wild as Spence or Udogie. And actually, he stayed at home a lot more, which allowed Porro to get up a little bit more. Sometimes it was almost like a back three with Ben hanging back with the other 2 center backs. So I'm really proud of what he did. I'll tell you this, apparently he has, or he's finished, or he has almost finished his coaching a license.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, if we had to have a temporary coach, I'd say put Ben Davies in there with whomever else, and let him, because I bet you he'd have the support of the players. And I just thought of it today. I went, oh, why not? He's probably capable enough. And if we are going to get rid of the dead man still walking, if we are, he might not be a bad shout. Anyway, I'm trying to be a little positive about it because it's all pretty negative.
Yeah, Ben Davies was excellent. Ben Davies rarely lets you down, even when he's playing out of position. You know, there's a reason why he's called 7 out of 10 Ben. He may not be top of the draw, top line, but he's reliable pretty much every single game. You could probably count on fingers of one hand the number of mistakes he made last season, which for a guy who was playing central defence as a left back ain't bad going, I'll be honest.
Absolutely.
And, you know, he seems like a lovely fella. Maybe a little bit boring, but that's, you know, not really an issue for a Premier League left back, is it? Would we have him as manager? I don't know. I genuinely don't think we'd take that risk on someone who's only just finished their badges or is still doing them. It would be
we did that with
quite a
Ryan.
risk.
We did that with Ryan. We did that with Ryan Mason. So, and I'm only thinking about this as a stopgap too. That's all. I'm not saying it's it's the way forward. It's just a stopgap. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a lengthy stopgap. I mean, I know Celtic have just sacked Wilfred Nancy and brought in they sacked Nancy today and they brought Martin O'Neill back to the end of the season. Now, if Martin O'Neill could come back, who's our equivalent of Martin O'Neill? Harry Redknapp? I don't see that happening either.
Right.
Then again, is there anyone here who thinks he's genuinely getting sacked? I mean, I'm not a fan of the way we're playing football under him. I don't like the football we play. But he's certainly not getting sacked this week. I mean, you don't sack him after our most positive home performance in the league in ages, even though we actually ended up drawing the match. That was the best performance we've seen from our players at home in the league for several months. But there are still concerns. There are still concerns. So my main concern. Go on, go on.
I was going to say we've all jumped to Sunderland because Brentford was quite.
Brentford was the worst game
I've ever seen.
I said I'm pretty sure I've watched a worse football match than this, but I cannot remember when. I cannot remember when I've watched the worst football match than that. Certainly one involving Spurs. I'm sure there has been some completely forgettable games.
That was diabolical. That was diabolical because we did not show any intent to win that game. And that's what I understand. You have your way of playing and maybe the pieces are not there yet and you're building up to something, but Tottenham Hotspur should always try and win a game.
Yeah.
And that was the disappointing part for me. And I think that's all I'm going to say about that because that was shocking.
All right. So what I was going to
Sunderland.
say, my
Yeah,
big
yeah.
concern is we have not scored a goal from open play since the 6th of December. We have played
Yeah,
6
you know
games
what I will
since
say
then.
to that? You know what I'll say to that, Stu, that like concerns me. But if I look at that first half, um, forget XG and all those things. The amount
Yeah.
of chances that we failed to convert from that phase just before
Yeah.
was unbelievable. The opportunities were there, and it's a team that's trying to find themselves or maybe lacking confidence or whatever. But if all those players are in a good space, we go 3-0 in at that half. And I think that's something we can hold on to. I think the second half, obviously, I think we ran out of options, and I think he was late on his substitutions. All of us could see that goal coming 5 minutes before it came, and there
Yeah.
was enough stoppages to then change it up. And when he did change it up, I agree with Austin. Archie had to stay. Archie had to stay. But Odobert was out on his feet. He did a lot of work in that game. And I could see, a change for Odobert. I mean, even Spence for Odobert would have made a difference. Just let him run at them, get up the pitch. I thought Kolo Muani was awful when he came on. I'm struggling to see the benefits of him, to be honest.
He was
Although
misplacing a lot of passes, very loose
He
on the
is.
he
ball.
was
Yeah.
ruining a lot of passes, a lot of moves he was ruining with bad options as well. But I would say that there was a apparent difference to me in that the play wasn't being slowed down conscientiously as it would be with Kudus. And I love the way Mohamed Kudus plays, but I think when he's slightly off it, he slows us down when we should be attacking, and he brings it back. And I think that's a player that's not on it, that's lacking a bit. And Kolo Muani didn't do that, but his options were very poor. His passes was really off it. His first touch, you want to see that ball from Porro landing to him on the break and him actually stopping it and get a shot away. I was very
Absolutely.
encouraged, though, very encouraged by Tel and Odobert.
Absolutely.
And while Richarlison didn't have a good game, he won a lot of headers, and he actually had the ball sticking to him for a lot of that half, which we haven't seen for a long time. He won a lot against their centre backs. But it seems like when he does one thing good, he drops off in another way. And he hasn't put that together. So, he hasn't been as good as usual, but that aspect was good. We could have gone into that first half 3-0, 4-0 ahead, and the game would be over. Instead, we gave a Premier League team with confidence and momentum a chance to come back into the game. And as you've seen in the City-Chelsea game, the Liverpool-Fulham game, you give any team a chance to come back, they come back. We should have put them away. So I'm not too worried about the open field goals, open play goals, because the signs were there. And I think all of us want to see that. We want to see those signs. Then we can give you time when we know it's like almost there and it needs a little bit of work. And I thought that's what I saw in that game. But the challenge is then to build on it in the next home game. And I want to see more away from home instead of just soaking up pressure, a little bit of that endeavor could have seen us won the Brentford game, and things would be looking completely different. But there are some grass shoots. We hanging on to them, even though I'm not happy. Yeah, I think that's what I have to say.
There were some fairly worrying reports of shouts from the bench along the lines of "Don't overcommit, don't push yourselves too hard," from Thomas Frank to our players in that second half. I mean,
I will say this though about that. That's about energy conservation, and I think the guys overplayed themselves, and we don't have much on the bench, and they've basically run out of steam. And maybe we don't get the full picture, but I think that might be from the data that they're getting about the running stats. And And maybe that's something to do with why Sunderland came into the game so much. But then you have that stats, and you have a bench where you can bring on 5 people. Then that's how you negate it. But he's obviously not confident in those 5 people. And that's worrying for me.
Well, it was refreshing to see him not put 2 goalkeepers on the bench, which is very frustrating to me when I see that every time.
Hello?
I would have had Barnett on, I'll be honest with you. I would have had Luke Williams-Barnett on. When Odobert was tired, I would have had him on. I would have had him on, somebody with a bit of X factor nobody knows too much about, and with a little bit of freedom. The game was opening up, and a kid would have had a bit more space to see what he could do. I would have had him on.
Yeah.
And I would like to see what he could.
Situation to bring him on.
Yeah. I would have had him on, definitely. I would have had Scarlett on for Richarlison, and I was very happy with Tel's effort yesterday. Another day. Tel was bright. He was inventive. He worked hard. He got shots off. He set the tone by taking a shot in the first minute. Like, all our worries about our stats were gone. We had a shot on target in the first few minutes. Like, everybody, used that as a stepping stone. There are some things that he needs to learn about. Hopefully we can bolster the squad a bit and take it from there. But I've been chatting a lot, so I'd like to hear what Austin and Ash has to say.
Yeah, Austin?
I want to introduce Pedro Porro into the conversation because I thought Pedro had his best game for ages. I was really impressed.
Pedro Porro's an excellent player, and there's not many right backs in the league better than him. I will bang that drum. The only reason why Jed Spence is not our first choice right back is because Pedro Porro is one of the top 4 right backs in the league.
Yeah, I can't understand the
Davies was
criticism
excellent as well, it has to be said.
Yeah.
Much as I hate
that's why. But that's why I thought Spence would come on the wing when one of the guys were out. I thought Spence would come on the wing and just carry the ball upfield like he was been doing.
You and David have been talking, haven't you? That's his personal thing. He's like, oh yeah, we should play Jed Spence right wing and Pedro Porro behind him. He's been talking about it.
No, I thought it was the right. I thought it was the right call for the situation. Like, Richarlison was poofed. He put in a shift. Yeah. Muani could have gone into centre forward. He was doing not much else great on the wing, and you could have had somebody who would bolster you in terms of tracking back, but then could carry the ball forward. And I thought it was a decent sub, but it didn't happen.
I think there's a lot more to come from Randall Kolo Muani, but I think he needs to be played through the centre. I think putting him out on the wing does him no favours whatsoever. It's just typical Tottenham that we sell last season's top scorer from the right wing, and then in the very next game our starting right winger gets injured and is probably going to be out for a few games.
Let me hear what Ash has to say, but I have a thought on Muani that might not be popular, but let's hear what Ash has to say first.
Hey, yeah, actually Stu just brought it up, thanks. Hey, Brennan Johnson, I'm kind of gobsmacked about it, actually. I know that saying logically, it's just trying to show that we can actually sell before we buy and whatever. But selling our last 3 top scorers and leaving ourselves so short, it's just madness, absolutely madness. I know he was the target of Boo Boys, but there were games where I would just track him and what he was doing, and he was actually running into space, and our players were passing it backwards as opposed to getting it to him. Who knows what he would have done if he'd actually got the ball. But the guy was trying. He was not from a lack of effort. And I don't know what you guys think, but I was kind of gobsmacked by it. It's almost cruel to go, it's almost like a Levy type thing. Cruel to send your top scorer and the guy who's basically got legendary status, with the club now, just to 6 months after to just go, all right, you're on your bike, toodaloo, bonkers, and then leave ourselves so short, and we'd go like, oh yeah, we're going to bring somebody in. Maybe we're not, and we're going to be stuck. The only benefit would be is that, I don't know, Finally, we get to use more of the academy, which I wouldn't mind. Anyway, that was my little take. I don't know what you guys think about Brennan Johnson being sold. What do you guys think about that?
I think he was our best striker. I think he's the most natural finisher in the club, and I was sorry to see him go. I don't think we played a system where he was utilised properly, but that's another story.
Absolutely. Anybody
I'm
else?
not sure there is a system in modern football that relies solely on a finisher nowadays. The days of there being like a Robbie Fowler or someone like that, those have gone. You don't see players like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lineker. You wouldn't see Lineker, fantastic finisher, but you wouldn't see Lineker playing probably top flight Premier League football nowadays in that same manner. Those players just don't exist, I think. You know, you're looking for somebody more physical, more athletic, who tracks back and does the link-up work as well. They do more. And Brennan Johnson, bloody legend as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely.
Serious number of goals. You know, scored from, 16 goals was it, from the wing? That's incredible number. And
18 last season.
I'm
18
not
goals last season.
I'm not surprised he's been sold because we're fully stacked on the right wing. We're fully stacked.
How?
Once we've got players fit. Once we've got players fit.
Who?
Kulusevski.
That's it?
Kulusevski.
Yeah. Okay. Stu,
do you need three right wingers? Three people who want to be starters?
Stu, you're being optimistic. Kudus is out. He could maybe he has a hammy. And Decky, no, he doesn't even mention. He's not even in training. It's just like, really, we really don't have any depth there, to be honest.
No, I certainly would not have sold him in this window. If I was going to sell him in this window, it would be for a hell of a lot more money than 35 million.
Well, that's also
we
a good
spent
point.
52 million on him. We had him for 18 months. He raised his profile by becoming our top scorer, scoring in the Europa League final, showing he can do it in Europe as well as at home. He can be effective. And we're selling him at a loss. I know in terms of the accountancy, this probably goes down as a profit, but it's probably a meager profit.
Yeah.
And for me, why would you sell someone that gets you goals from an unlikely position and sell them for what is effectively cheap money nowadays? 35 million for the Premier League is cheap. We're not buying a replacement for 35 million.
You know, it doesn't bode well
like
for the new regime. Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing though. I think we've changed the way we've operated, and if the long-term vision doesn't suit us having Johnson, I think that's what it is. I think we're looking at a squad overhaul for players that they want to play a certain way with, and they're looking at the long-term thing. In the short term, I don't, I like Brennan Johnson. I was not one of his boo boys. I like him because I think he has a lot of intelligence, and if you can play to his strengths, he's very effective. I just don't think that's the way they want to play. So they're looking for something different, and they took the opportunity. That's about it for me.
Hey, those are valid points, but I'll ask you. But who's running the long-term strategy? What if it's not Frank? Who's running it? So what is the long-term strategy, and who's running it? And if Paratici's gone, is it this guy Langa? I mean, who's running the management, the castle? I can't think of the right metaphor there.
I would say it's Frank and Lang.
Who's running the asylum?
I think it's Frank and Lang, and I think they've gone all in on them, to be honest with you. Or we would have seen him under a lot more pressure as the manager already, and that tells me that they're backing Frank long term. I don't think we're going to see any regime change anytime soon.
Okay.
Which means I need to dig in for a long campaign of being miserable about the football we're watching, because I don't see that changing either.
So, Stu, before we move off like certain topics, I wanted to talk about Kolo Muani. I'm not in favor of us playing Kolo Muani. I'm like he's a lone player, and we have our own players that are not getting game time because of him.
You mean like Tel, for instance?
I would rather see Tel play than Kolo Muani.
Good point.
he's our player and one's not our player. And although we do have an option, I mean, looking at what he's produced so far,
I don't think
tell
we
me
do
we're
have
going
an
to take
option.
up that option. Oh, we
I
don't
don't
have an
think we do
option.
have
You're
an
correct.
option.
We don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't. So, like, why are we doing this? If one part of the club is selling Johnson because it's a long-term thing, and then Tel should be the other long-term thing over Kolo Muani. Well, we don't seem to be pulling in one direction.
There you go. Who's running the asylum? That was my question. It does seem like a bit of a madhouse, still.
I would play Odobert, Tel every game. And I would play, I'd start blooding in guys like LWB and Scarlett. I'd start playing them. Those are our players, and we've got to see what they've got to do. What they can
I think
do.
if you're effectively writing off the season and saying, right, we're gonna be blooding young players and we're gonna be developing these players, then that's what you've got to do. Either you say we're actually going to try and do something this season. We're going to be an attempt to be a force, and we're going to compete across all four fronts. Which, remember, is what we were told.
We're 13th, and
13th.
half the season's gone. We're 13th, half the season's gone. We've tried that with all these Oaks. It hasn't worked.
Yeah.
So what do we got to lose by playing people who actually care about the club? Kolo Muani looks like he wants to be somewhere else. He just needs the season.
Yeah, he wants to be on the French squad. He wants to be on the French squad.
Yeah.
So he
just needs season. Yeah.
But he's
think that would have been enough motivation, but he's not doing anything.
True. Very true.
The thing is, right now, what options do we have? We've got Richarlison, or then there's a big drop in terms of experience down to Dame Scarlett. Otherwise, you've got to play Kolo Muani. You can't play Richarlison every single game. I agree. I think Odobert should be playing more minutes than he is. For me, I think Odobert is a right winger. He's been very good.
That's what we're coming to. Exactly what I was coming to. It's like you play Richarlison, Tel Odobert, and if Richarlison's beat or he needs to be rotated, then bring in the Kolo Muani because you got no option. But like giving his minutes to other players is not for me. And I would have Xavi when he's fit, and if he's not there, I would have Barnett. And yes, he's young, but if you're good enough, you're old enough.
And he is magic.
Like
that kid is magic.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, I like it.
That's what I would do, and I think he'd get buy-in from the fans when you're seeing that. He'd be under a lot less pressure playing those guys than anybody else. And you play Gray every game, and you've got solid back five, and you play those guys, and up front you let them build some rapport, and you let them use that exuberance of their youth and say, go for it.
Austin, sat there quietly. What are your thoughts? I mean, you've seen more football than any of us.
Yeah.
What have your years of wisdom told you about this, about where we're likely to go?
I've got a few thoughts. One is starting with our skipper, Romero, who drives me up the bloody wall.
I have a question to ask about Romero. Bring me back in a minute. Go on.
Okay. Two, I'd like to see more of the youth being brought through.
Absolutely.
I like homegrown players. I think Scarlett, I mean, he didn't get much of a chance on Sunday, but whenever I've seen him in the past, he's looked lively. And even on Sunday, he was running around with absolute commitment. I like, oh God, I've forgotten his name. The lad we've got out on loan that played left back last year. He's got a lovely left foot. He's got a passing range to die for.
Donnelly.
Sorry?
Donnelly.
Jamie Donnelly.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Jamie Donnelly back at the club because I think he's an absolute Spurs player. He's got passing skill, he's got vision, and he's got a commitment. I agree about Kolo Muani because he's not a club player, he's on loan. I like Tel and I like Odobert, and I think they both look like they've got skill to die for, and I'd like them given more chance. My biggest problem at the moment was Paulinho came in at the start of the season And at the start of the season, I thought he looked like he was doing a good job. But since then, he looks absolutely dreadful. He's not winning his challenges. His passing completion is not particularly good. And I'd rather see Bergvall and
Gray. Gray.
well, Gray, yes.
And Sa.
Well,
Yeah.
Sar's away at the moment, but
No, but Sa look going forward, yeah.
yeah, that they would be my three midfielders going forward. And I think I'd just say, right, I'm building my team around you guys because they're bloody brilliant. Gray never puts a foot wrong. He's so accomplished in terms of dribbling, holding onto the ball. He's had shooting opportunities. Bergvall the same. He drifts past players like they're not there, and Sa runs like he's got 100% energy all the time. However, I'm not the manager of the club. I'm a big advocate of homegrown players because I love homegrown players. I want to see a club with. Well, I go back to 1967 when Celtic won the Champions League or the European Cup as it was then, with all players within 23 miles of Glasgow.
Yeah, fantastic.
It's like I don't like the cricket where we've got this franchise cricket where you've got no identity. I like the identity of Tottenham, so I'm old-fashioned. But apart from
I will pick you up on one thing. And I think this actually goes in Gray's favour. He has made a mistake this season against Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago.
Fairly significant mistake. But the thing that impresses me about him is he didn't let his head drop. And he came back and he continued to play the rest of the game. And he was excellent. And then he's played games since and he's been excellent. He's someone who, because he comes from a footballing family, and I think this is also, you know, with Brennan Johnson, with players like Luka Vuskovic who come from footballing families, they recognise that there are going to be ups and there are going to be downs, and you need to take these as part of your career. And he is such a level-headed kid. I want his attitude in the squad, like I want Tel's attitude in the squad. I think Tel is a leader. You know, that kid. I mean, he's a kid. He's 19, 20 years old. He's a leader of men. That guy.
I can see it in him.
Good point.
I think he's going to be £100 million player if we get it right with him.
Yeah, don't freaking loan him out or anything like that. You know, jeez.
By the way, can I just where he cut in and he smashed that ball?
Oh, that was lovely.
To the fast play. It was beautiful, and it's going to come right for him. That was
so effortless as well.
That was that guy that used to play across the pond, across the N17 there. Terry Henry, I believe. That was very
Henry. Yeah. By the way, just a sidebar. Just a sidebar to what Oz was talking about, domestic players. I have a producer friend, dear friend. I've actually done some work for him. He's actually from Cardiff. He did create that Super Ted animation. Became quite well off because of that. He's an animation producer, has his own animation network. Anyway, he makes a point about Cardiff City. The majority of their players, similarly to what you were just saying about within, Oz just said within 25 miles or something like that, the majority of them are actually British players of Cardiff City, and they're first in the League One. The point being that there is an actual philosophy or an ethos to use domestic players. And, you know, yes, it's only League One, but they're playing very attractive football. And they're in first place. We'll probably get back up into the championship next season. So anyway, there's an example of a team who are very well supported, Cardiff City. And they're doing what I was just talking about, relying on domestic talent.
But that's a club with an ethos. I think one thing we're missing right now is an ethos. We're missing a plan. We're missing an ethos. We're missing something that ties everything together. You know, what are Tottenham right now? Are we a club that develops players for our own use? Are we a club that develops players for other clubs? You know, I think we were somewhere between the two. We were developing players for use within Tottenham Hotspur, but we managed to get lucky to a certain extent on a number of occasions, and we got effectively taken to the cleaners by the bigger clubs as they took those players off us. The last few years, we've had Modric, we've had Berbatov, Gareth Bale, Harry Kane, all of them fantastic world-class players. Carrick before that, yeah. To a slightly lesser extent, it wasn't the same kind of money. But, we fought to keep hold of those players, every single one of them. But at some point, the money just became either too tempting or the player decided they were going to leave, whatever happens. And, it came to a head. But I don't think we develop players to sell. We're not a selling club, so to speak. I mean, I heard on TalkSport they were saying we were a selling club. We're not a selling club at all. But let's quickly go back to my point on Romero. For me, I don't think we're playing good football. I would say we're playing pretty terrible football right now. And I don't think our captain is particularly enjoying it. He looks extremely frustrated. And I would say that his disciplinary level has dropped through the floor recently. He's kicking people all over the place. He's making mistakes. He's just not being careful. He looks absolutely pissed off. Am I wrong in thinking this?
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
No, you're correct.
Yeah, and he's pissed off at the way the coach is going about it. Let's face it. I don't know. So we got to deal with it rest of the season.
If we're frustrated, guys, can you imagine how frustrated they are?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And even guys like, I bet you, even guys like Van de Ven and whatever. And by the way, one of you guys, I think it was Stu, was saying, and I think on one of the podcasts I actually listened to, was saying about Frank shouting, stay back, stay back. There is a risk-averse element to his coaching, and that probably is pissing off our players like Van de Ven and our captain and some of the other players as well. Quite frankly. So I don't think it's a happy camp. But even though A was probably right, is that with Langer and Frank, that we're probably, we're sticking with them. I don't know if that's the right thing.
If I had my way, I'd bring back Vuskovic, drop Romero, and make Ben Davies captain. Because Ben Davies is a 100% player.
He's a proper captain. He really is, and a 100% player.
Absolutely. He has had some injury issues this year, so maybe
I know. Can't play him every day.
If I had my way, if I had my way, we wouldn't be playing so shit. So Romero wouldn't be so frustrated.
Romero would be quite so unhappy.
And then you would see our best centre back expressing himself and being proper. I think we can't treat the symptoms. We have to look at the cause.
Yeah.
Hey, if Romero isn't playing well because he's pissed off, then he shouldn't be bloody captain in the first place.
No, I agree. But
he is an emotional guy. He is an emotional guy.
If we're not playing well, I want my captain to be pissed off.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd want my captain to be doing something about it. I'll be honest.
I think he's trying. If you see the Newcastle game, but he can't pull us off. He can't pull that off from centre back every game, right?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that attitude that he showed there in that game. Fantastic.
Yeah, I think he wants to.
He's an excellent player. I think he would walk into pretty much any club in the league. He would walk into the first team of pretty much any club in the league, I tell you.
I think the frustration is more that it's not coming off for him. We have two world-class centre backs and we ship goals like crazy. This is absolute horrendous.
Yeah, totally agree.
The thing that, I've talked a lot about fit recently, about whether a manager fits a club. And I think you have two options in terms of, if your manager doesn't fit the club, you can sack them and try and bring in someone that does. Or you can take the Manchester United route and try and buy in players to fit that manager, which is what Manchester United did for Amorim. Now, Manchester United sacked Amorim today. Amorim had a 38% win record in his time at Manchester United. What do you think?
Did they sack him today? They sacked him today?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been a day for sackings. What do you think Thomas Frank's win percentage is? Higher or lower?
I think it's lower. We played 20 games. How many wins do we have? 7 wins?
It's 20. I'm including all of, not just league games. I'm talking friendlies. I'm talking cup games. I'm talking everything. 28 games.
And how many wins?
10.
There you go.
35%. I mean,
And
that's
most
rough.
of them, most of them are in the Champions League. Actually, there's at least 4 of them in the Champions League.
At least 3 of them in the Champions League. I can come off the top of my head. Yeah.
Right?
So
4.
my thoughts. I actually
4 for
wrote this
sure.
down. You reckon? So in terms of fit, right? This is what I wrote down. Good managers maximize a player's strengths and minimize their weaknesses. Bad managers expose weaknesses and suppress strengths. Now, I don't want to. I don't like using the word bad in this sense. I don't think Thomas Frank is a bad manager. Okay, I don't think you get to be a Premier League manager, bringing your club up through from the league below and getting them to stay there and doing the work he's done by being a bad manager or a bad guy. I don't think he's either of those. I just don't think he's the right fit. Same reason Ange Postecoglou was not the right fit at Nottingham Forest. The same reason why Sean Dyche is the right fit for a Nottingham Forest side. Because the squad is set up to play the kind of football that he wants to play. You can't take a defensive side and make them attacking without making a lot of changes. You can't take an attacking side, which is what we have got, and try and make them defensively solid without making a lot of changes.
I'm just doing a podcast.
And we seem to
Are
be
we an attacking
concentrating.
side?
Are
we an
we seem to be
attacking
set
side?
up. I'd say we're set up to be an attacking side. We've got players who want to attack. They want to push forward. Both of our fullbacks want to push
neither
forward.
Frank
Both of our centre backs like to push forward.
I think neither Frank or Ange Postecoglou met the expectations. I think that's like fair, but Ange was the right guy if he was able to temper and he's be a little bit more flexible, which he wasn't. We went too far away to Frank. Ange was almost the guy. He was. We needed Ange with a little bit of more nous, and flexibility. And
but we've done our usual thing of flip-flopping between styles. We've gone from one extreme to the other. And
I agree with you there.
We were told that Thomas Frank is more pragmatic. Thomas Frank will be able to sort out the defenses without diluting the attacking intent. And I don't see that. What I see is someone who's trying to fundamentally change the way we play football to a more defensive and more solid side. And that's cost us in terms of our ability to make goal-scoring opportunities. And because we don't have players who are set up to play that, who are used to playing that way, who are ideally set to play that way, we're making mistakes at the back and we're letting sides in. That's my thought.
Yeah. I think Frank wants to build a base before he expands. The problem is that the base he's building doesn't seem very stable.
Yeah.
So he can't move on to the next phase. He either doesn't have buy-in or he's not very clear. And yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare at the moment.
It is a bit of a nightmare. And
I think
it might get worse.
The frustration from the fans right now is obviously bleeding through because I'm picking up on it. And I just get to watch on telly. I don't get to go to I have been to 2 games this season away. So, that's a good one for me. This is a good season for me in terms of being able to go watch Spurs play. But the frustration is clearly bleeding through. And I'm just wondering, who was the last manager who frustrated the Spurs fans as much as this? AVB?
Well, Conte did. Conte pissed me off. Conte pissed me off. And Mourinho pissed me off, to be honest. And Nuno wasn't there long enough to get pissed off at.
Yeah, Nuno wasn't there long enough. I'm just thinking it's got to be AVB or Sherwood. There was a certain section of the fan base that loved Sherwood. So, yeah. I don't know. It's tough. It's so tough. It really is.
The delusional section.
Yeah. Well, we've gone down
Wow.
the road of talking about Thomas Frank
So
and not a lot
if
of talking about the football. So
Believe it or not, it's less painful.
yeah, that
yeah,
is that's why we do it, isn't it? We're all here to have our little
Mm.
therapy session. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. That's exactly why I come here.
yeah.
Hey, did you guys
We
like the
should change the
palm
name
trees
from
and
CADS to lay on a sofa and discuss Spurs or something like that.
Yeah.
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 I just want to know what Ash has done with his surfboard.
yeah, I know this is where I live. There's palm trees all around me. Um, it is kind of cool. I should do this more often, do it outside. Makes me feel better while we're talking about Spurs.
We all need that.
I know
Oh,
exactly.
dear me. So
Yeah.
the games we've got coming up, we've got Bournemouth on Wednesday, which is, we're recording Monday evening. So that's 2 days' time. Then we've got our FA Cup match on against Villa on Saturday the 10th. So our next show will be on the 11th. We follow that up with a game against West Ham on the 17th of January. So I mean, we can win one of those, I think. I have no
Bournemouth look like a
particular.
proper side.
Bournemouth unpredictable. Bournemouth kind of worry me. Aston Villa are definitely a proper side. I mean, I'm. I don't think. I think the quality of our squad is comparable, but their squad is better suited to their manager and to the way they want to play football.
And they've
And
got
they've
many
got
years under the same manager, a lot
yeah,
of consistency.
He's a
they've
good
got more
manager. I like,
certainly.
and he's
This is
actually a
what his
good
third
manager.
season. I think Emery's only been there
Yes,
2 seasons prior to this one, so
No,
it's his third season.
full of season.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. No. This is not his. What third? Did you say third?
I believe
yeah.
this is his third season.
Not. It sounds first or third. I don't know what you're saying.
Third,
Sorry, I can't
three,
hear.
not one, two,
Yes,
three.
gotcha. Yeah, he's a good
Yeah.
manager. Listen, and he'd won the Europa several times. I, yeah, he's like Lego head the way he's up on the sidelines jumping around. But he's a good manager and a successful one, and you got to hand it to him. And plus, they've got that guy that Oz and I both dislike, which is that Matty Cash guy. But anyway,
Yeah.
he's on that team. So yeah, not. It might get worse before it gets better. But hey, if they truly did, and I didn't see sacked Amorim, and he's at a bigger club than us, and they're above us, then it could happen with our guy too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Amorim's
I
gone
don't think
today, and
so.
so is Wilfred Nancy of Celtic. So it is the
I
time.
Oh,
It
think
is the
that's
season for sackings, but
yeah, but
apparently
I
not at
think
Tottenham.
like Amarin wanted it. He knew if
Oh
he
yeah,
spoke out against the board, I think he just had enough, and he was like, if I poke this bear, they'll give me my severance.
yeah. I mean, it was on the cards from the moment he had his little outburst. How
It
planned
was the
that
same
outburst
with the
was, I do
Chelsea
not know.
guy. He wanted out as well.
Yeah, well,
that's
he
true. He
walked
just went as
apparently.
well. Oh, so yeah, this
Apparently
is
he
the
walked.
season.
He didn't even want to pay off. He was just out of there. I mean, he apparently doesn't particularly enjoy having 10 technical directors working above him, which I can understand.
Oh
Yeah, I
It's
felt
like
boy.
sorry for
10
him.
people double
He did
guessing
this
every single
job.
one of my decisions.
Yeah, and you could see it. They let the medical team didn't tell the new guy, the interim guy, to pull Palmer off. He played the entire
Yeah.
game. The other guy was told when to make substitutions. So
Yeah, and it's their under 21 manager or something as the current incumbent. And they might be getting ex-Hull manager Liam Rosenior in. Liam
they played
Rosenior
well
is
against
linked to
City.
my favourite stat in football.
What's
What
that?
is it?
The shortest managerial stint in football.
Was
What
that
was
not
it?
Ange at Not
No,
Forest?
no. How long do you think the shortest managerial stint in football is?
A
Don't
day.
know.
Less.
Wow.
Less than a day. Keep going down and we'll see how long it takes to get there. Less than a day.
Let's go with 4 hours.
Less.
An
Wow.
hour.
2 hours.
Less.
30
5
minutes.
minutes.
15 minutes.
Wow.
Okay,
it-
So,
tell us
Liam
who
Rosenior's
why.
Liam Rosenior's dad is Leroy Rosenior, who was manager of Torquay. Okay. And then he was brought back. They sacked the manager and they brought Leroy Rosenior back to be Torquay manager. Okay. He signed his contract. They sat him down in front of the press, and as he was talking, in the 15 minutes he was talking to the press, a takeover happened at the club, and they sacked him.
Oh.
The first thing they did was sack him. He was in the job for 15 minutes, which I think is my favourite statistic in football. The shortest managerial stint in football history. I don't ever see that being beat. 15
So
his
and
dad.
was just
Fantastic.
Premier League, right?
I'm going to
And
use that
just
as a
Premier
quiz
League, then.
question, Stu.
Yeah,
Wow,
I'm great at
that's amazing.
like mental trivia like that.
That's
That
quite
was his
something.
dad. That was his dad, though, Leroy. That was him.
That was his
Leroy.
dad, Leroy. Yeah,
He was a good footballer. I remember him playing.
yeah.
Me
He
too.
was an all right manager at that level. I'll be honest. Saw quite a few games of it when I was living down Torquay Way. Right. Limited as you'd
nuts.
expect for that level, but still.
All right.
First out of the Sam
Anyway,
type stuff.
Are we wrapping up? Got to push off.
We are wrapping it up. Right, gents, we'll be back on the 11th. We will be talking about Bournemouth. We will be talking about Villa. We will see how that goes. Until then, thank you, everybody. And come on, you Spurs.
Cheers, everyone.
Stuart, thanks for hosting. Nice to see you guys.
Gather round, lads, it's time for a cheer. We've got opinions to share, raise your part, never fear. From the stands to the pub, we're ready to spit. In the world of football, it's the CADS chat shit. Oh, he was in form just last week, but now he's a flop, so unique. Spurs gonna win it, that's what we decree. Never mind facts, it's our fantasy. Our strikers are legends, we'll score a whole bunch. Forget all the stats, we'll just take the punch. With every wild take, we raise up our glass, while pundits just chuckle, ignore them alas. The CADS